Now tuning in to Earbud Media. Audio for everyone.
Fun fact behind the scenes, we are always recording. And only an hour each week gets released to you.
When I was in high school, I thought that was the dream, right?
Yeah.
Like a YouTube couple who was just always on, right? Always
Sure.
recording stuff. If anyone in my life, platonic or romantic, came at me right now and was like, hey guys, I would smack them in the face and break their phone in half. I don't
what's up, you
want to be
guys?
seen or heard.
No, don't address me.
I don't want to be perceived unless I tell you it's okay.
Right, I need you to consent to. I need to consent to be perceived.
I'm very much returning back to like my 7 to 9-year-old self who was like, Mom, put the camera away.
Right,
Like,
get out.
I don't want photos.
Don't look at me.
But it's just because I've lived so many lives now. And I don't want any more on my digital footprint than what I consent to.
Yeah. And that's fair, you know.
We are tumbling through the downfall of so many things.
And some people are quite literally tumbling through them. So
Exactly. Yes, literally. The last thing I want is if I were to gather with a friend and they were like, hey guys, I'm going to unbox this. And it's like, shut the fuck up.
Right.
Shut up.
No. Just show me the stuff in your bag and that's it. Don't talk to me.
Right, exactly. Now, if it's ironic, I think that's hilarious.
Yeah.
Because I do actually want to see what's in your bag because I'm nosy.
Right.
But
I am first and foremost a nosy bitch, but I also don't want you to acknowledge me in any capacity. Is that a crime?
yeah.
Is that too much to ask?
I lived through being on YouTube. I don't need my face online anymore.
No.
Thank you, though.
Yeah.
No, I'm good. I am so much now just a pile of bones on a porch.
On a porch.
I am the decaying pumpkin that my neighbors 3 houses down still have on their porch.
It's very poetic imagery. Yeah.
Thank you. That's not Instagrammable. Just leave me be.
Right.
Just put me in your yard. I'll become pumpkins next year. Welcome to Into the Twilight.
Hey,
I am 100 years old.
Yes, we are rotting pumpkins on your stoop. Say hello. Or don't acknowledge us. Just we're there.
That's gotta be a Rupi Kaur poem, right?
Yeah.
Hey, I know we've been saying this for like 6 years, going into our 7th now. But how's the trash fire in your neck of the woods going?
The trash fire? You mean just the state of the world?
Just the state of watching things continue to burn down
around me? Yeah, for sure.
Around you.
Yeah. It's been fun, especially for someone whose main job description is Twitter. This has been a really fun few weeks for me. We could talk about that, but I don't. That's not a happy thing. That's just a fun thing that's in my life.
Just another cause of your high blood pressure.
Right. Yeah. Just like a fun little addition to that. Yeah. So I wanted to bring a happy thing that is also kind of a callback to a happy thing I've had in the past.
Oh, I love that.
I don't know if you remember about last year, I told you about a man who went live on Twitch for 30 straight days. And I kept checking in on him. Yes. So this man, I've continued to watch this guy. Guess what he's doing? Again.
Team No Sleep?
Team No Sleep. It is different. I will say this. He's doing another subathon. This time it's all for charity. Which slay. So he's not doing it for 30 days like he did last time. He's doing it for 50 hours.
Oh my god.
But the change here is that he's locked inside of a glass box and he can't leave.
This is somebody's something.
I know. Okay, that's what I'm saying though. Like every time I think about like, because this is like a trend that like a lot of people used to do, especially post that big one of being like, let's see how long I could do it, or like it's a good way to like do charity streams or like make a lot of money for something, whatever. But a lot of it I feel is exhibitionism, which like not to yuck your yum or anything, but just say what it is. Just say that you're kind of a little horny.
Just be honest of like where you're getting the money from.
For thousands of people watching you and your every mood, that's probably a thing that if you keep doing it, probably is a thing that you're into. Not, not gonna yuck anyone's yums or anything.
You know that dude who has the Halloween horror house where he makes people sign like pages of waivers, and it's like a legitimate torture house. He's watching the stream being like, ha 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 ha. Right, exactly.
Like,
it's just like for only sickos.
It's sickos only. And so naturally I have been watching.
Right. Yeah, resident sicko.
I want to see it,
Call. Right.
And it's been fun. It's definitely a different energy, and also it's a lot less time consuming because it's like, oh, I don't have to catch up on 30 days worth of VODs or things that I missed. I can just like kind of pop in and out or whatever.
But he can't pop in and out.
Right.
Box.
Right, exactly. He cannot. He is stuck there. There's also a live audience. We're streaming this on YouTube, but there's also like literal people just like there.
Outside of the box?
Outside of it's like this big box inside of like this, studio warehouse situation. And inside the box there's like a couch, there's like a TV, there's like things going on. It's not just like he's by himself.
Everything that you are saying continues to get scarier to me.
Yeah,
because the way that you were describing this before, I thought it was like that episode of Even Stevens.
No.
Where he gets into like the storefront of something.
Yeah, sure.
And I was like, that's weird, but like that's where glass boxes usually are.
Sure.
And now you're saying it's in a weird fucking studio in the middle of nowhere where things like crimes do happen.
Well, it's like a place that runs a lot of events, like a lot of creator events or something like that.
Right, events.
Yeah. Yeah, maybe this guy will get money. Who knows? We'll see it live if it happens.
I'm so scared right now.
Like, imagine, this is not going to be more comforting, but imagine the glass box in you.
That's exactly what I'm imagining right now.
But with furniture.
That warehouse.
And, like, internet. And then also, like, maybe 200 people outside watching. And also tens of thousands, if not hundreds of thousands of people watching on the internet.
This is Criminal Minds has done several episodes on this exact thing.
Yeah, so
but it's not a man. It's not an adult white man. Mm-hmm. It's a child.
Right. Yeah, they're at the $100,000 mark, so good for them. And they're just sitting on a couch, and there's some other man there. I don't know who he is. And they're talking.
Who's in the box?
In the box. Yeah, people can come in and out, like people who work on the.
So it's not locked.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, it's locked in the sense that he can't leave, but it's not like locked. Except, I guess, when he has to pee, because that's probably, you don't want to stream that in a glass box.
Okay, so he is allowed to, okay, all right, this does change things. So he does not have to urinate and defecate in the box.
That is the one thing, that he's allowed to do.
Okay, all right.
Yeah, so that's better.
Okay.
Yeah, they had to put some ground rules, I feel.
All right, I do feel a little bit better about this. Does sound more like
a bit more humane,
for charity and not literal torture.
Right, not like a fear factor situation.
Right, exactly. They're not just gonna like throw spiders in there.
Yeah, so that is my slightly unsettling happy thing of both voyeurism and exhibitionism on his part.
Sure.
So, how are you doing, my friend?
I'm doing okay. I will say, just for those who are curious, I'm still watching Grey's Anatomy.
Of course.
But I did have to give myself a little bit of a break because I got jump scared by... This is supposed to be my safe show, right?
Right.
It's helping me with my SAD. It's consistent.
Sure.
For me, a safe show means that people that I don't like aren't supposed to be in it.
Yeah.
That changed because I started getting into episodes that I did not know. This is unfamiliar territory to me.
Right.
And I was unfortunately jump scared by Matthew Morrison, who was in not 1, but 4 episodes of Grey's Anatomy. And I said, got a blast.
Yeah, that's a no for me.
Why would Shonda do this to me? I trusted you.
Yeah.
Because he's so, like, Matthew Morrison in general is a scary person that I did not quite realize when I was a child watching Glee. I was like, you give me the ick, but I don't really understand why. And then they literally cast him as a villain in this, and I was like, you are the scariest person I've ever seen. And I hate you so much. So I had to take a pause, and that's fine because now there's so much new television that I can't breathe. And it's a good thing, and I'm not complaining about it. It's just I need to rejoice.
Yeah.
So my happy thing this week, the specific consultant at Netflix who is monitoring my activity is like, oh, bitch, you started watching something new other than Grey's Anatomy?
Yeah.
Is The Crown. In fact.
Yeah. Okay.
This new season, specifically.
Sure.
I have been waiting on bated breath since Miss Ma'am died, finally.
Yeah.
Miss
Ma'am.
What The Crown was going
May she rest in peace, Miss Ma'am.
May she not.
No, may she
not.
roll. Yeah.
To see if they were going to continue and move forward with season 6, because that's the thing. Since I started watching The Crown, I was like, damn, this is going to get like really good once she dies.
Yeah.
Sorry to any of you who are stands of colonialism, but that's none of this show.
That's not our truth. Yeah.
That's not my truth.
You're in the wrong place, my guy.
Yeah. But this season is very good. The casting is goddamn putting the woman who has scared the shit out of me as Miss Umbridge as Queen Elizabeth.
Yeah.
Holy
that's a great
fuck.
casting choice for sure.
Is very good. Obviously, like Elizabeth Debicki, my tall, beautiful wife.
Here's the question. How tall is she in the show? Do they actually let her be tall?
Oh my god. I think they're almost exaggerating it a little bit every time she's next to Charles. Like, they were like, ma'am, please, can you stand on this apple box, please?
Right. Okay. That's good to hear because I feel like in so many other movies and stuff, they won't let her be tall. And it's a detriment to her whole
Diana
prowess.
had a growth spurt.
Right, and that's okay.
4 and 5.
That's okay. That's fine.
She had 2 children. She's 30, and then she grew. Like,
sometimes puberty happens
inches.
at different times, and that's
right.
okay.
It happens, and it's beautiful. The only annoying thing, and I have seen differing takes on this, I do still think they made the actor who's playing Charles too pretty.
Too pretty, yeah. That's
when I initially saw the photos, I was like, yeah, he looks kind of fucky. Like, it'll be fine.
Yeah.
But as I've been watching it, I think maybe it has, I mean, the actor's obviously, like, this is no shade to the actor. The actor's doing a great job. I think it's the combination of the actor, their bone structure, and the makeup department. He's too handsome. And we all know, like, that's not Charles. That's not Charles.
Yeah.
So, it's very good. I'm not going to spoil anything for you, but also, hey, it's history. It's already happened. So, sorry. I love The Crown. Because if Netflix is going to put that much money into anything, I'm going to watch it.
Right. Yeah.
But I think that I am grateful for this time of year because I'm not going anywhere.
Yeah.
And we've got so much good TV. So give it to me. I love it. I love it all.
Yeah. Hell yeah.
We have some amazing little tidbits of current events since we were off last week.
Yes.
Just a little appetizer for you. Nothing too big. You've probably already heard these, but for those of you who, good for you, stay away from social media and our kind of current events, we just want to give you an update.
Yeah.
First of which is very important. Penn, as you might be familiar, does a podcast called Pod Crushed.
We stand.
And the love of my life, Victoria Pedretti, was on there.
Yes. Our wife.
was, as so many people have said, was reunited with Penn. It was lovely to hear the two of them together. Some of the clips that I've seen that they've been sharing the most on TikTok has been Victoria just like pulling out fidgets.
Yes. It's the most indicative of our whole thing.
I love it. It's so
I've
relatable.
Ever seen. And like Penn's just fascination with it, and then he just holds it for way too long. Tries like, give it back. I need to fidget. It's so good.
Which is surprising because it's like, homie, you have a kid, right?
Right. Like,
I feel like his kid is still in the newborn stage, so it makes sense that he might not be familiar.
yeah.
I'm just honestly shocked that more actors who do the press junkets aren't visibly holding fidgets.
Yeah.
Because I would not be able to get through one of those without just like ripping paper if they did not give me a fidget.
Yeah.
The other piece of news was one that you shared with me. Could you do us the honors?
Well, ladies, gents, and all the others, we officially announced the reunion and the holy matrimony of Taylor Lautner and Taylor Lautner.
God damn it.
Taylor Lautner Squared is official. They got married in like a vineyard estate in California, and crucially are both named Taylor Lautner now, legally. And in
These
love.
two motherfuckers, I swear.
Yeah.
First of all, I do love the photos. This wedding looked beautiful.
Yeah, these photos are gorgeous. They look like they're... This is the happiest I've ever seen Taylor Lautner, I think.
Literally.
In my life.
Here's what I'll say. It obviously looks rich,
Yes.
but to their benefit, it doesn't look rich ugly.
No. It's not like tasteless rich.
Yeah. A lot of the stuff that they're showing looks very classic. Like they won't regret this, these photos and a lot of the decor in like 20, 30 years.
Yeah.
Which is hard to say for a lot of people who are rich and have weddings.
Yeah.
I wish that, Taylor looked great in the suit that he wore during the actual wedding, but this velvet suit.
The rehearsal dinner suit, this blue velvet is chef's kiss. Love to see it.
This man, it's very cute. It looks very much like something you would just see on like Instagram or Pinterest.
Yeah.
It's very basic, but not in a bad way. And I love that. I think it's very cute.
I think they deserve that.
They do.
It doesn't need to be gaudy
I
and silly and over the top. It's just like a classic, nice, rich wedding.
Here's what I will not abide by. I don't like that both of their names are Taylor Lautner. I don't
like it either. I don't like it.
I told you this when you sent it to me.
Yeah.
And I still am frustrated by it. There's so many logistical issues with this.
Right.
What about the mail? What about phone calls?
Yeah.
What about your staff who's going to be like, Taylor? Like, which one?
Which one? Yeah. And I get that Dome is kind of a pretty rough last name for sure. Like,
I get
it's pretty hard.
I
get it. But maybe hyphening is maybe not their jam, but I feel like there could have been something, a hybrid situation, rather than just being legitimately the same name twice.
But also, can you imagine, like, you wouldn't take Pattinson? You know what I mean? Like,
fuck. Yeah, you gotta, you know.
You gotta do it.
When you seize the opportunity.
Again, logistical issues. Is she gonna change her social media handles? You can't have two Taylor Lautners.
Right. Taylor Lautner, official, for real.
Right, for real, though. For real. Like,
yeah.
You know that their publicist and, like, their manager had, like, a heart attack over this when they were like, yeah, so we discussed it. Taylor's gonna change her name.
Right.
No. We have an amazing Twilight backstory. Could you read this
Absolutely.
for the class?
Okay. This is from Haley. Hello, Haley. says, "Hi, I'm Haley. I'm 24 and I'm new to your podcast. I was obsessed with the Twilight movies when I was a young teen, but I'd never read the books. When the last movie came out, my parents got me tickets to go to the marathon showing all the movies. I can't believe I was in a movie theater that long. I was not a book reader up until about 2 years ago, after watching the Vampire Academy movie and becoming interested in Rose and Dimitri's journey. I read the whole series within a couple months, so I decided to buy the Twilight books to give them a shot because I love the movies. I've gotten to New Moon and haven't touched it for a while. Bella's being reckless and stupid, and stupid is dragging on, and I can't even deal with it. So who knows when I'll get back to that series. As for Vampire Academy, I was hoping you would finish the last 2 books before starting the show, because the creators have said in interviews they're not doing things in order, and they're pulling storylines from all 6 books. Uh-oh. Specifically the 6th book. Uh-oh. Did not know this.
Oh,
whoops.
Fuck.
And the spin-off series, also known as the Bloodline series, takes place right after the Vampire Academy series, so you'll need to read those right after. I'm so excited for you guys to continue with the series and the spin-off. Also, have you read the After series or seen the movies? It is very toxic couple, which is right up your alley. Thanks for all the laughs.
Fuck.
Wow.
Haley.
Okay, well, thank you all for letting us know beforehand.
Yeah. Why didn't no one tell us this?
I did not know
Fuck.
that. But
I
think
mean, that makes sense.
It makes sense, but I also think in the way that this, time-lapse stuff going on here, like, I don't think we'll, like, be spoiled by things too much, and by the time we get to those places in the books, you know what I mean? Like, I think
Right.
I think it'll be fine. I think we'll probably be okay. But
here's what I'll say. Having not read the last 2 books.
And I barely remember the last 2 books, so.
Right. I don't know what happens. I do feel like if they are banking on a second season,
right,
a major, where I feel like this is going from the foreshadowing they've done so far, is they're going to end this with Dimitri getting got.
Yeah.
And I feel like we got to that part in the books.
Right.
So.
Yeah. And I think, like, anything they could pull out, like, I feel they are banking on multiple seasons, and I don't think they're gonna, like, the things will be minor, I feel.
Right.
Or less,
that
like, huge major plot
a lot more
lines.
sense that they were intentional about it, though.
But it does make a lot more sense of why this is happening.
Yeah. Haley, thank you for this critical piece of information. I have not seen or read the After series.
I do have After history, because I
God, really?
No, I watched one of them unintentionally. I think it was like the 2nd or the 3rd one, not knowing this was like a series. Because it has one of the Sprouses in it, I think.
Oh, no.
And so we watched one of them. It definitely was not the first one, because I'm like, I feel like we missed something, because I don't know why these people are all mad at each other and horny. Right. Like, I don't know what's going on.
Just 0 to 100.
Yeah.
We have 2 listener emails here. One is from Katya Karp. It is titled I Caught an L, and then I feel like you will enjoy this. Katya says, hello all. Patron and longtime listener, Katya clocking in for my dumb bitch shift. Do y'all remember the Sarah Snook Persuasion adaptation we were robbed of? Okay, well, I have something embarrassing to admit. I need y'all to know that I was confusing Sarah Snook with Sarah Sherman, famously from SNL, and just this instant learned which one Sarah Snook was. That's all. Just imagine a Persuasion adaptation with the girl from SNL, and that's what I've been picturing in my mind for months. Sorely embarrassed, Katya.
Katya, you have opened the best Pandora's box of potential adaptations I've ever seen.
Can you fucking imagine?
I would die. Because we've talked about Sarah Squirm, a.k.a. Sarah Sherman, on the podcast before. We love, we stan.
Right.
Confusing her with Sarah Snook is incredible. I'm obsessed with that. But just putting
Listen, there's a lot of Sarahs, Katya.
There's a lot of Sarahs. There's too many Sarahs, okay? Sorry. Not too many. There's a great amount of Sarahs. Not so there should be less.
Fuck it, I'll say it. There's too many Sarahs.
Okay, fine. But
I've taught. You have to do, like, Sarah S, Sarah B. Like, fuck that.
Right. Like, Sarah Squirm, just, like, as herself, essentially, with, like, her clown overalls, doing gross out shit, but also in Persuasion, would be maybe the best movie ever made.
It makes so much sense, honestly.
I need it, actually. We need to contact Hollywood. Stat.
HBO? I'm emailing
Hello. Come on.
Watch out for my carrier pigeon right now. Okay, I have another email here. This is from Kat, titled Home Team, because we released a locked Home Team episode for you all last week.
Yes.
You're welcome, by the way.
Yes.
This is, Kat says, hello, I just had to email in and say that Gary Valentine, aka the guy you thought was Kevin James, is his brother. Okay, that's it. Love you, Kat.
That does make sense.
That
they look
honestly
identical. That does make sense.
Makes so much more sense when we were on IMDb and we were like, damn, they do kind of look the same.
They
Guess
do
we should
look
investigate
exactly
that
the
further.
And we're like, nope, it stops here. The research
Yeah.
point stops here. Listen, they got 2 different last names. How am I supposed to know?
Right, exactly.
What am I going to do,
Does
check?
that mean that Kevin's last name, like his real non-Hollywood last name, is Valentine?
Oh my god, Kevin Valentine.
You know he got made fun of so much in school for that, but that's actually really cute.
No, it's a totally different name.
What the fuck?
Kevin George Nipthing?
Excuse me. No, he definitely got made fun of for that. That's unfortunate.
Oh yeah, so no, Gary Valentine is his stage name, and his last name is Nipthing as well. So they are brothers.
Damn! Okay,
Damn.
so he was just like, alright, if I get to make up anything,
Right, we both
and
can
I
just
have to
pick
keep
names.
Gary, then Valentine, then fuck it.
Yeah. Wow. Well, thank you, Kat,
I mean, how are we supposed to know?
for doing more Googling than we did.
Thank you for taking 3 extra clicks online for us.
Right.
God damn it. You know what? Sometimes, listen, we do tell you all don't fact check us. Kat's the only one that can do it.
That's,
So-
yeah. Kat has the fact-checking privileges. That's it.
Because Kat ends their emails with love you. So
Yeah.
that's fine.
So Kat earned it.
Kat earned it. Kat solved a mystery that we had for 2 months.
Yeah.
Okay, so when we last watched Vampire Academy episode 6, I remember smooching. That's
Yes.
really all I remember. It had been a long time since I watched this. That's really all I remembered.
Yeah, we had smooching. We had a little bit more Adrian. We had
We had the ceremony.
the ceremony. Yes. We had much
Sonia
more of like the
went
spirit. Yeah. Sonia's
ruh-roh.
went AWOL. Yeah, and went kind of a little off the rails.
Yeah.
And everyone's kind of in a bad spot a little bit, just a smidge.
Yeah. So that's what you missed on Glee.
That's what we're setting this up.
Episode 7. Here's what I'll say. I hope that you weren't interested in hearing more about Meredith
Yeah.
or Mia or
They
Christian
are gone. They're out.
or Mason, because it's been several episodes now.
Yeah. I'm like, listen, we were kind of building these up to be very important things. Mason especially, obviously, with like this love triangle situation. And he just kind of dipped and is gone. And
He didn't make that trial thing, and so he's gone now.
Right. And then Mia and Meredith,
school.
where are they? Probably being cute together, but like, I would like to see it.
But we don't know. Yeah,
But we
there's
don't know.
no Eddie, but also there's no Jesse, so
Right. So
you know.
we do get a win there.
there's
get a
one,
win.
there's one win. Yeah.
Yeah.
There's a lot of backstory
Yes.
in this episode
Yeah.
that
What a lore.
here's what I'll say. If you hadn't read the books, could have used this, not in episode 7,
Right.
episode 1.
A little bit closer to the top. Yeah, for sure.
Because in the books, we get this right away.
Yeah.
But that's fine. That's fine. I know you're looking for tension and mystery. That's okay.
Right.
It's fine.
I'm not going to judge you for that.
I still don't know the heretic's name. Are we not supposed to know?
I don't think we know.
I don't know that they ever mentioned that person's, like, the journalist, like, the Daily Mail fucking person.
Yeah. Right. Yeah. No, I don't think we got her name. I did not pick up on it. If we got
I don't think so. But
Yeah.
her story is, like, the A plot.
yeah,
throughout
at center
this.
stage for this, yeah, because they're like, oh man, we got to find out more about this spirit situation.
It is smart since the showrunners are just having like a fun time playing with plot and being like, fuck the book's timeline, like let's just have a blast here. Right. I did think it was smart that they introduced to the audience, not necessarily the characters, the alchemists.
Yes, yeah, that's really smart how they did that, of being like, hey, just so you know, this is a thing. Might be important.
Because I feel like it is a natural question, both as a reader, but also I would imagine for someone who has not read the books, to be like, okay, so they're going into the human world. If this shit's happening, how the fuck do humans not know?
Right.
And so to be able to see the visualization in the television show of like the gold skin of the alchemist, very cool.
Very sick,
and then the stuff that Sydney had talked about too, of the like drop poison stuff that just makes the Strigoi go gone just girl. Like, oh my god.
Turn into dust. Yeah, very cool.
Very cool.
Yeah. We definitely got a little bit better on the graphics up in here, which I appreciate. It looked very, very fun. Yeah. How they
the
visualized.
The movie could never.
No, certainly not.
The movie could never. Some of the lore was a little bit more expanded than in the book too, because we're getting it from that third person perspective. Yeah. So they're talking about Vladimir the messenger, and also saying stuff like the first great lie. Yeah. And that was interesting to me. Because there's a lot in this episode about like duty, and not poop, but like the role.
Right. Yeah. The service. Yeah.
The service, the need that plays, and that being something that was told, because they mention it like being told as a child and like in Sunday school and stuff, that like Vlad was one of the 13 saints and he's like been killing it. But it was all a lie. It's very interesting. Yeah.
Oh, I think her name was Clarice, or is that a different? That was a different.
I believe you.
Yeah, let's go with that.
That
Otherwise,
sounds good.
Heretic. Let's just go heretic.
Well, because they call her a heretic, and she's not. Yeah, she's telling the truth.
Yeah, no, I think it's Clarice. I think that's who this is. Yes. Okay.
That sounds. I believe you. That sounds right to me. Very interesting, I will say. Especially with how the reactions that are happening, because like they're playing with the plot, right? And so when we end up having this whole thing, it feels very wild that Adrian knows about Lissa and Rose, but Dimitri doesn't know at this time. Feels weird. Totally feels weird. Don't like it. And then when he does find out, when they're like standing outside the like apartment, he's having a full-on crisis of faith at that time.
Completely.
And I don't think we really get that in the books. Right. Because he was just like, that's weird.
Right.
But
like, that's kind of
God,
strange.
do my job.
Right.
Whereas we see him being like, you can't, this is, no.
Right,
There's
it's like
4
playing
elements.
with God. Right, yeah. Mm-hmm.
All I'm saying is, like, it makes sense because Dimitri's like, you tell him one thing and he's like, yeah, absolutely. Right. I was just worried that they were going to be like, the way that he responded just very much gave me that like TikTok meme where it's like, you're gay? And it's like, can you just think outside the bun for a second?
Right, just like expand our minds here.
Why are you just so trusting of the government?
Right. Yeah. Well, that's kind of also, I feel like, Dimitri's fault in general, of like so beholden to rules, right? And the structure of things.
Boring.
Which is, boring for sure. But like, obviously when you're with someone like Rose, who like cares about rules in the sense of succeeding, but also like will bend them to do whatever she wants and get what she needs. It's always like an interesting dynamic. I did think it was interesting, too, that we saw kind of glimmers of Rose's nausea thing.
Oh, my God.
With the Strigoi. Because, as we know, she's guarding, she was with this group of people and stuff, and she was like, we gotta get out of here. There's something going on here. And the whole kind of consensus was like, we didn't see anything. Like, what
Right.
are you talking about? And she was like, trust me, it was there. And I like that was like a little tiny hint of this, all these kind of things coalescing at once. It's also interesting to see that before this realization of the bond itself, like in a real way.
Yeah.
Of what it actually means.
Because that's the thing, right? So the A plot anyways, is Lissa and Adrian are like, we need to go outside the Dominion, go see the humans. This is where Clarice, the heretic, lives. We got to get this info. Because obviously we're not going to find it in a book, this like real truth about Vlad.
Yeah.
But the only way to find out this info of where she lives is we need to go to this secret club that has a secret club in the club to go there. And and of course Dimitri's like, fucking no. Which is very interesting. But I thought that it was very cool that we've seen hints of Rose's like spidey sense before, but she's been very much like not trusting of it. And this time she was like, I'm gonna dance and I'm gonna make Dimitri have fun, because what else do we have to, like, we're not allowed in the Moroi section of the club.
Right.
What else do we have to do? And so having to rely solely on her instinct at this time, which is everything that she's been told to ignore, I was also dying when it happened again at Clarice's apartment and Dimitri was like, so they're here, right? And she's like, what the fuck are you talking about? And he's like, I'm not unobservant. I've noticed that this happened before. Like, is it Lissa or is it the Strigoi? And she's like, yeah, you notice me?
Who, me? What?
It was so that, and I mean, everything that happened between them this episode was super cute and obviously was too good to be true, which hurt
very
a lot.
Heartbreaking. Yep. Because like even at the beginning of this episode, they're like way past the end of the last episode of smooching. They're like fully kind of into each other, and it's like very cute.
Oh yeah,
and they're like sneaking around and like
Dimitri letting his guard down.
His guard down for once. Like, hello.
Almost getting caught by Lissa.
Right.
Sir.
Oh, that was so cute. Of course that has to go into shambles.
And it's like, you're on a ferry and you're wrapping Rose up in your duster, which, like, sir, your duster.
Hello.
And talking about how rules are the only thing that, like, keeps your darkness in control, which, like, shut the fuck up.
How dare you?
Being like, and saying stuff like, freedom scares me to death, or it did, and he doesn't get to finish that sentence, and it's like, I'm physically unwell. And I'm gonna
throw up.
I know that they're trying to condense books, right? Like, months and months of a relationship into mere episodes.
Right.
And I will say, like, because of the chemistry between these two actors, it works well.
Right. I
want more.
Yeah.
It's just that, of course, it's not going to work when there are Strigoi and it's choosing between, like, taking care of each other and taking care of your bond babe.
Right. And that moment of hesitation, too, is always the thing that we get from Dimitri in the books and stuff, of being like, you can't do that. And, like, that's kind of the catalyst for him to be like, this isn't good anymore. This doesn't work anymore. And then also Lissa realizing the whole, like, resurrection thing. Essentially, we get confirmation of that through the bond, and how the bond is actually, like, not going great for both of them because they're in really dark places. So Rose is kind of fucked. Like, Rose, from all sides, being like, my babe and my babe, my two babes.
Which is why it was so interesting that Clarice was the one that said, never hesitate, instead of Dimitri in that moment.
Yeah.
Because it's such clear foreshadowing from, like, because that was his whole thing in the books, was always saying that. Like,
yeah,
Rose, if you remember one thing about me, that I'll say out loud. It's never hesitate, but also like, I love you, right?
Yeah.
And so for her to say that, and then the next thing that we really see is Rose getting 2 breakups in like essentially one moment. Ugh. It's like, God fucking damn it.
So sad.
And there's 2 moments about this that I thought were hilarious, even though this is a very sad moment. When they do that close-up shot on Rose after Dimitri says this, when he's just like running in the background, I was laughing my ass off.
He's got a silly run.
he's just zooming, and it's like, I'm trying to focus on her and her pain, and he is just running.
Right. It's like they didn't like check the shot and like how that would look, and he just kind of like is scooting around. It's like it's like, imagine if like that end scene in Call Me by Your Name where Timmy Chalamet is like crying by the fireplace and someone just like fucking zooms and skirts right behind him as that's happening. Like in a comic way, not in a way of like just casually walking. That's like, I'm trying to focus on the pain here.
And that's okay. And so the next breakup too, Lissa doesn't even let her through the doorway. She's not even, she's standing, and this is why I'm like, you know how she's like fully consumed by her grief, because anyone could have been walking by. Jesse could have been steps away and hearing this. Like, girl, get her at least. I know you don't want to be close to her, but like, close the fucking door. Yeah. You're talking about things that are illegal. So bad at crime. But yeah, the fact that she like closes the door and Rose is like banging on it. Oh, I wanted to throw myself into the sun. It's so painful.
I hate it. So Rose is down astronomical right now.
It's just, things are bad for Rose, which I will say is true to the books.
Right. It is, yeah, just true to the fiction, for sure.
And I think that this episode, more than those previously, I feel aligned to her, like to Rose, and I wouldn't have said that about previous episodes.
No, this is the first time it's been like, oh, not that it's from her POV, but like it feels like you actually feel for her in a way that we did feel for her in the books. And it's I'm like, I've been waiting for this. I wanted to see.
Yes.
She's not just like a stone warrior, whatever. Like,
oh my God, yeah.
She's a person and like has a very compelling narrative that we can focus on. God.
Speaking of compelling, I need to talk to you about Adrian seeing Rose for the first time. He said the words. This motherfucker shows up in a suit and sunglasses, fully hungover, if not still drunk.
Yeah.
Dimitri, this whole time that he's around Adrian, just wants to kick the shit out of this dude, which I love.
I'm obsessed with that energy.
I'm obsessed with it so much because that's how I felt about book Adrian, so it's accurate.
Yeah.
But this motherfucker looks at Rose and says, "Little Hampier," and I wanted to die.
Yeah, and he does it with that sly little grin and his little eyes.
I'm physically unwell.
I hate it
because he looks at her like, yeah, we're gonna be together, ma'am.
Right. Which is interesting too, because like, I love this, right? Like, I love the Rose Adrian sort of kerfuffle or whatever, especially in the last book that we read, of that like build up to that moment, right?
Yeah.
But it's interesting having it done like this early, because before there was like obviously the speculation that Adrian and Lissa were somewhat of a secret thing when they weren't, but like they were just spending a lot of time with each other because of the spirit things and like all the jealousy and stuff around that. But I think it's interesting just like kind of axing that and just like adding that into the Rose dynamic a little bit.
Yeah. Because that was the whole thing in the books, is that like when Tatiana was queen, she was like, well, obviously you need to be with Adrian.
Right. Yeah.
No question.
Right. That's the plan.
And that was why Tatiana hated Rose. She was like, get away from my nephew.
Have sexy vibes and I don't like it.
I don't like the way that you look at my nephew. Fuck off. And she's like, I want to kill your nephew.
Right.
Can you
I
let
hate
me kill
him. I hate him.
So I will say, like, I love Adrian. Unfortunately, it's a pain in my ass. He's still a pain in my ass.
Yeah.
But seeing them learn from Clarice about Vladimir, and I just think that it's wild that we are getting the mic drop at the end of this about the bond.
Yeah,
when
and the car
the whole time in the book we knew that.
Yeah,
that was the whole, like, they knew they had a bond. They didn't know why, but like they didn't know like the spirit reason behind it, but they knew why. So to have to tell her now, like, sorry Rose, you were dead, I just didn't want that to be the truth. It makes it a lot more fucky.
Yeah. And then we get our B plot, our royal court.
Oh yeah, speaking of Tatiana.
Of the throne. Yeah, this Tatiana, not book Tatiana.
Not book Tatiana, yeah. It is wild. Victor's still, at least at the start of this, I will say, always well dressed.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Always incredible fits. The styling on this show is very good for her specifically.
It's just Victor always amazing, Tatiana always amazing. We can always say that about them, even if they're not great.
Yeah.
His
we get a little bit
campaign
more
was doomed.
Yeah.
Unfortunately.
From the start. Ugh.
Yeah. I did think it was interesting that they were like, oh, hey, we're 7 episodes in. Here's some ASL. We got ASL.
Like, okay. All right.
Even though we're in Europe, because we get, I don't know where we are in Europe right now in the Dominion, but it seems like that was ASL. It wasn't a different language of sign language.
Language of sign language, right, yeah.
But, okay, cool. I mean, sure, I don't know why it wouldn't exist in this world, so sure.
Yeah, I do think it's interesting. We get a lot more of, like, political beef backstory, I feel like, in this.
Yeah.
Of, if there's one thing the Queen loves to do is to invoke very old rules.
Just at random times.
At random times, and things that haven't been used in hundreds of years, it seems. So she does again with this, like, ancient rule that will be, like, instead of an election, we're going to do, like, trials for y'all. And that's how we'll decide. And, like, the elements
Marina's
decide.
just getting bored. And she's like, you know what?
Right.
I'm
like, this
going
isn't
to
fun for me
change things
anymore.
again.
Voting is kind of boring. I kind of want to see a show. Kind of want, like, a little entertainment, perhaps. Maybe let the elements decide. I'm sick of, like, making decisions for things. I'm out. I'm on my way out. So let's just, like, expedite this process, shall we? And not do a boring old vote.
I don't know why this hadn't come up before. Because Irene had mentioned this. Tatiana's mom? Aunt?
I think it was her aunt. Yeah, I think it was her
know.
aunt.
Yeah.
I think it was her aunt. Yeah.
The idea of, like, a balance between church and state. And Irene is the head of the elementals. And so if Tatiana is going to be the head of the state, theoretically that should not be allowed. Right. And I just don't know why it didn't take Queen Marina, like, why didn't she do this earlier to be like, well, obviously we need to invoke this weird law that was covered in dust.
Right, yeah.
But okay, sure. That's fine.
Right.
I mean, I'm personally interested in what these sacred religious tests are going to be. I'm just also very worried, like, one, for Victor's health, because Sonia is gone, girl.
Yeah, right.
She just was like, cool, dude, I'm going to charge up Victor.
Right.
And then
I'm rested up and I'm going to charge my boy. And then we'll be good. And then, not good.
God damn it. I'm very worried.
Yeah.
I'm worried about Sonia trying to meet up with Mikhail, because then they have way too much knowledge as Strigoi.
Yeah.
to take down everything. I feel like Tatiana's going to rig the elemental challenges.
Right.
Because why wouldn't she? She's genius. I'm worried that those pills Lissa has, she's not going to take.
Yeah.
Though I did think that letter Adrian gave her of her fun options was very cute.
Oh, yeah. Very sweet.
I'm worried. Where is everyone?
I'm scared. Where are side characters? Where are the Strigoi attacks on the school? Like what's the Christian's whole family situation?
Where are Christian's parents?
That was a huge plot 3 episodes ago, and we've just said, nah, we'll figure that out later. What? He got Lissa's threats, essentially, from the book in that. How about we explore this a little bit? What's going on?
Has Christian just been, like, on a fucking LAN party with Mason? Like, what are they doing?
Yeah, they've just been too busy with Xbox. They've just...
God damn it. I am worried that we only have 3 episodes left. We still don't know if there's a second season.
Right. I'm scared.
I just want to be in Dimitri's duster with the interesting cut in the back.
Yeah.
And hide out there. But alas, we cannot. So episode 8 next week.
Oh.
Till then, I'm going to eat mashed potatoes and gravy.
Yeah.
And pretend that the show that is fictional is not causing me real life stress.
Real life psychic damage, yeah.
Real life psychic pain. And focus instead on some of our patrons who bring me joy.
So much joy.
Do you want to start us off?
Absolutely. Thank you to Katie Black.
Ooh, thank you to Kylie Minty.
Ow. Thank you to Alex Dornan.
Ooh, thank you to Mulch Gray.
Mulch. Thank you to Jasmine Anastasia.
Ooh, thank you to Megan Pattinson.
Pew, pew, pew. Thank you to Cassandra O'Shea.
O'Shea. Thank you to Katya Karp.
Pew, pew. Thank you to Hope Castile.
Ooh, thank you to Rachel Ashford.
Pew, pew. Ooh, thank you to our newest patron at this level, Vivian Yulee. Ooh, new name alert. New name just dropped. You're Vivian Yulee.
Thank you to Maddie Facinelli.
Pew, pew, pew. Thank you to Samara Rinaldi.
Ooh, thank you to Genevieve Morgan.
Oh, ow. Thank you to Danielle Burke.
Ooh, thank you to my mom, your mom, our mom, Kelly Beck.
Mom. Thank you to Sophia Salinger.
Ooh, thank you to Lara Forty.
Bow, bow. Thank you to Dan Zeklos.
Ooh, thank you to Maria Swan.
Pew, pew. Thank you to India Peach.
Ooh, thank you to Emily Ozera.
Ow. And last but certainly not least, thank you to Jaylene Ivashkov. Pew, pew, pew.
I have a fan fiction here for you. This was written by Kay Riley. It is titled Holiday. The summary is, Rose finds out Dimitri is practically born on Christmas and hasn't celebrated his birthday properly in years. This cannot stand.
Oh. Okay.
Dmitry Belikov, guardian extraordinaire, renowned for his almost unmatched skill set, both as a tactician as well as a fighter, martyr who'd offered up his precious and sparse free time to train the Academy's most notorious student, was a Christmas baby. Or, well, almost. The 20th of December wasn't technically Christmas, but certainly close enough that Rose imagined half-assed excuses by semi-familiar acquaintances and family members for one big present for both Christmas and your birthday, rather than two small ones, if not skipping the 20th of December altogether in favor of the more widely celebrated holiday. Rose told Dmitri as such, who, much to her happy surprise, threw his head back in a proper, full-chested laugh. Dmitri Belikov could be mistaken for a statue if he put his mind to it. Rose had, on more than one occasion, considered telling him to take that surely unmatched poker face of his to Vegas. Therefore, every time she'd get as genuine and open a response from him as this laugh, she'd take a mental snapshot and bury it away in a corner of her mind to revisit later. Either way, Dmitri Belikov, having had to spend his youth sharing the spotlight that should have been rightly his on at least his birthday with a holiday like Christmas, somehow made perfect sense. Of course, he'd spend his life having his birthday being overshadowed, and Rose would bet anything he'd always been unbearably gracious about it too. She could see it now. 4-year-old Dmitri with a solemn smile, hand-waving half-assed excuses about forgotten birthday cards. The train of thought had developed and derailed so quickly after learning this fact about her fearless mentor that she'd almost missed his quick dismissal of the myriad scenarios she was conjuring up in her mind. End scene.
Oh, gosh.
She goes all out in this, but I will not spoil it for those of you that want to read it.
Yeah.
Folks, take care of yourselves. Take care of your friends who are watching live streams and are hopefully not themselves in glass boxes.
Yes, crucial.
And tell your friends about the show.
Yeah.
And that way they can be here to celebrate with us in a couple weeks when we hit our 300th episode. Pretty wild stuff.
Hell yeah.
Hell yeah. Well, as we say here in the Pacific Northwest,
get bit.
And get whipped.
Ooh.
Ooh.
Into the Twilight is an Earbud Media production. You can follow us on Twitter at Into the Twilight or on TikTok at Into the Twilight Show. You can find me at Cody Corral on Twitter and Allie at Alexandria Does. And you can support us on Patreon at patreon.com/Into the Twilight. We have merch, so much stuff. All those links are in the episode description. And make sure to rate and review us on your favorite podcast hosting platform. It really helps the show. Thanks. Bye.
You've been listening to Earbud Media Production. Earbud Media, audio for everyone.